So I'm literally right here in my villa in Bali. You can see right here, this is where we are living for a couple nights here in the resort. And today I want to share about some of my lessons and my journey going through a complete reset, having some success early on, losing all of it, and finally coming back up alongside with some of the lessons that I learned. And the whole point of the video is to basically inspire you and to give you an perspective of how it actually is for someone who have went through something like this, and how if you are actually going through something like that, how you can actually recover from it. Um some of the disciplines, the mindsets that have really helped me to stay consistent during this difficult period. So right now, my life is like really probably like the best it's ever been. um 1 year ago, I wouldn't have imagined myself, doing the things I am doing today. 1 year ago, I was really just like still hustling, trying to make things work. But right now, things are going amazingly well for me. So, truly, truly thankful for that. So I started my entrepreneurship journey when I was basically around like 16 to 17. I got into learning about business because I wanted to learn how to actually make money online. Because I was young, I was really determined and hungry, and I came from a family which kind of like embedded a scarcity mindset when I was young, which made me feel like I didn't have enough. And that was a very strong driving factor coming into my teenage years to want to actually, achieve something for myself. And I don't know if you guys can actually resonate with this. Um, Actually, I think many of you probably may actually resonate with this. A lot of us, we get into entrepreneurship because we want to break out of our financial situation, and we want to basically create like a new generation of like wealth for our family, for our future bloodlines. And yeah, that was like the big really big motivation. So I started at 17 and I tried a few different businesses. One of the first few business that I tried was like selling power banks. Me and my friend, we would buy like power banks from Alibaba, and then we would basically kind of like put our label on it and sell it in our local market. There's this online local kind of like a application that you can use to buy and sell things called Carousell in Singapore. And we were just using it to basically we get it for like $10, and then we resell it for like $30. And we made like a couple $100 every single month, which was going quite well. And I wanted to really like scale it up, and that's when I found out about e-commerce. And my first experience with e-commerce was actually with Amazon, FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. And back then, I didn't really have much resources. I started off with about like a few $1,000s, and I basically just invested almost all my money into Amazon FBA, and I didn't manage to get it work because the first product that I picked was an absolute shit product. It just wasn't a product that had the ability to scale, nor did it have enough like demand, nor was a product unique enough for people to actually want to buy it at scale. So I made that mistake, and that was a very costly lesson. Took me about 6 months. Lost pretty much all my money. But thankfully, I still had like the other online businesses that I was doing, which was like generating revenue. So I was making a little bit here and there, and I was getting some allowance from my dad and my mom. So I was using that, and then I eventually found out about drop shipping. And that was about like after 1 year of being basically an entrepreneur, like hustling really hard every single day, spending like 8 to 10 hours a day on top of like going to school, going to the gym, and doing all of that. To be honest, I don't know how I managed all of that. At the point of time, like I really, that was like the only thing that I cared about at the point of time. That was just like trying to basically get rich at a young age. And then when I was around 17 and a half years old, that's when I got into Shopify drop shipping. And took me about 6 months, right? 6 months going from nothing to making my first 100K online. That was in revenue, 100K a month in revenue, which was, I think it was 2017, 2018 December. I think I did hit that number. And then ever since then, that was like the starting point of my first come up. Things was going really well. I was making consistent like 5-figure months in profits, and I was like scaling up my lifestyle, traveling, doing everything that I wanted to do, and things were going really, really crazy. But eventually, the business didn't work as well. I didn't evolve my strategy, and it just started to slowly but surely crumble down over the next 3 to 4 years. So between like 2021 all the way to about 2023, 2024, I was like basically I made some bad business decisions, and I lost most of my savings, and that was a really difficult time for me, you know, having like experienced like success early on especially, and then having your identity be attached to this level of success. You know, I saw myself as this young successful entrepreneur that is very capable, that is, you know, very that is a massive action taker, a very successful guy. I saw myself as that, and over the next few years, it kind of was like slowly stripped away from me, and that was a very painful process. It took me about like 2 to 3 years to really come to terms with the fact that, you know, I basically lost it all. And then come around like 2024, 2025, so after I went through the complete reset and I basically started from scratch again, I was really lucky to have maintained like a really strong network of friends. And one of my really really good friend, Jordy, right, he basically helped me to get back into dropshipping again, because to be honest, at that point of time I was really done with it. You know, I thought like, okay, you know what, dropshipping is really isn't for me anymore. I want to find like a new way to do it, and I was learning about forex trading at that point of time. Yeah, but anyway, I decided to, okay, you know what, I'm gonna get back into dropshipping. I'm gonna actually give it another shot, because I saw the way that he was doing it, and it made a lot of sense to me as to why he was able to make it successful and why I wasn't able to. Like, I was able to finally connect the dots as to why at the point of time my business wasn't able to be profitable at a high level enough to definitely not enough to pay my lifestyle expenses back then. So I decided to give it a shot. That was in around 2024, and then took me about 6 months as well to before I started to, you know, do like some decent numbers. I think about 6 to 8 months, and after the 6 to 8 month period, that's when things became like really consistent for me, when I started to basically found like a strategy that actually worked. And right now we're at a point where we are making you know, multiple 5 figures a month, some, you know, close to meet multiple 5 figures a month in net profit every single month for the past couple months here and there. So it has been like a really good ride so far, and the most important thing is we found something that's consistent, that seemed to be at least sustainable for now. So we'll see how it goes over the next few months. And throughout this audio, you know, and this roller coaster which we call life, so many things happen, so many lessons I've learned, and I want to share some of the lessons, some of the things that really enlightened me during this almost close to a decade of being an entrepreneur, right? And I'm actually gonna sit in front of the pool. Funny, you know, we have a really small swimming pool here, probably just for dipping, but I haven't actually used it at all. The view is amazing though. Like, imagine waking up every single day and just like looking straight ahead. And this is like really like one of my dreams, you know, to live in front of a rice field. This is an ideal that I had in my mind for a really long time. Like, I want to wake up in front of rice fields. The air is amazing, the wind is amazing. Open rice fields, and you can just see, like, you know, trees, nature. Very amazing place in Bali. So one of the most important things which actually kept me grounded during this period where I actually lost most of my success and coming back up again is being consistent and disciplined with my routine. The really good thing about me is, even though, you know, whether or not I'm making money or not, one thing for sure, you're never gonna find me. You're never gonna find me slacking. You're never gonna find me not taking action. You know, regardless of the results I'm getting, I'm always gonna be putting in the work. I'm never gonna basically, you know, kind of like you know, like not give a shit. I'm always like very consistent in my morning routine, whether it's with like meditation, whether it's with like going to the gym, you know, making sure that you know, getting the you know, the training in, getting my boxing training in, putting in the work every single day, regardless of the results I get. And one of the things I notice with people is, you know, when there are two cases, right? The first thing is, once they actually start getting a little bit of success, they get a little bit complacent and they stop pressing on the gas pedal. They stop actually trying to move things forward. And then the second one is when people start to experience failures, they let the failures determine their action, and they're like, oh shit, you know what, this is getting tough right now, I don't feel like putting in the work, I'm not gonna put in the work. And you don't want to be any of these two people. You want to be the third category of people, which is regardless of the results you are getting today, you're gonna be consistently stepping on the gas pedal and putting in the work, because the work that you're doing today is going to impact the results you'll be getting 6 months from now, right? Right now, you're not gonna be able to see the work that you're not gonna be able to see the results that you will get from the work that you're doing today. But 6 months from now, surely you're gonna get it. The results are gonna be very, very clear. And the results of my success today is due to the actions I'm taking last year, months ago, the consistent showing up every single day. And same for you as well, right? You want to make sure that you're always like disciplined and put in the work. The second thing which really helped me through this journey of losing it all is having and developing my relationship with the creator, with God, with the universe, whatever it is that you want to call it. I'm not a religious guy, but for me, I always have a very strong sense of the fact that we do have that there is a creator, there is a God, and there is something out there that has been guiding me in this journey. And the results of my life is largely being appointed by this creator. Although I do have a lot of autonomy and free will, but I also do believe that this creator and this God has really helped me a lot and shown me the path. And that really that was one of the things that really kind of gave me the feel to keep going on, even though things weren't going very well, because I knew that whatever I'm going through right now is just temporary, and that eventually I'm gonna come to the other side, and I just have to keep pushing on. And I do believe that whatever lessons I'm going through today, I'm going through for a reason, and God is helping me to become the person that I need to be. So I just have to embrace this phase of my life going on. So that's the second thing. The third thing, which is probably the most important, because that is more on the practical side. The last two weeks we were talking more about the mindset, the spiritual connection, which kind of translate hand in hand, to be honest. The third one is the business model that you choose, the opportunity that you have selected. Because I came to realize, the longer I'm in business, the more I realized that the business is really largely about opportunity. Opportunity meaning the kind of business model you choose. Timing as well. Timing is extremely important in business. People tend to over glorify hard work, but I really don't think hard work has, for me, I probably think opportunity is number one, and then hard work is number two. Or maybe opportunity and timing is number one, and then second is your daily inputs, the things that you can actually control that is in your power, which is the actions that you take, is probably under that. So choosing the right business model and choosing and entering at the right time, or even for example, in the context of dropshipping, finding a product that you're selling and selling it to a crowd that is underserved, right? This is just an example in relation to e-commerce, because e-commerce by itself is such a broad business model. There's so many different ways that you can do it. So many different opportunities within the context of e-commerce as well. So choosing the right model, choosing the right opportunity is extremely important, right? And some opportunities are just not as good as the others, right? For example, if we look at something let's say it's trading as an example, right? If you're someone and you only have few $1,000s in the bank and you want to start trading, it's probably not a very good idea, because trading itself is a very uncertain model. Even with the right strategy, you can lose a lot of money. You can still do everything right and still come out net negative at the end of the month. So choosing the right model is really, really, really important, right? And then we also have other different businesses, different ways of running businesses that I've seen that people are just making so damn much money, even though the actions they are taking every single day is little to none. Because of the opportunity they've taken. So number three is to just make sure that the opportunity that you have taken is something that actually do work and do scale, And if you have done it for a while and you're just fucking hell, there's a huge ass bee, like a wasp, you know, it's just like flying. Now I better get the fuck out of here. I don't wanna die. But yeah, you know, if you have chosen a model and you tried it for like say like a couple months and it's still like not working out, you may wanna maybe not a couple months is kind of short, but maybe let's say for example you tried it for at least 6 to 8 months and you're getting no results, and that model, not many people have gotten like good results. Let's say for example, let's just pick like a specific niche. One idea that comes to mind is like YouTube automation. You know, I've seen like so many people talk about it, but I rarely actually meet someone that is truly making like lots of money from YouTube automation. And those people who are making lots of money within the industry, they're not making as much as like dropshippers or like, you know, people who are making, or for people who are like doing like traditional like, you know, businesses. So even like the best of the best within that niche, it's not even that, you know, that great. So that's how I know that that opportunity is probably not the best, right? Like for example, in e-commerce, someone at the top could be like a billionaire, right? Someone who sold their brand for billions of dollars. Whereas someone who do like YouTube automation at the top, maybe they're making like 5 million a year. So it's like there's that disparity within the apex of the niche tells me a lot about whether or not the opportunity is good. This is just like an example that I came to my mind. Or even like starting an agency, you know, I think in the past it was like a good business model, like a social media agency, and it still could be good depending on where you live, like because every single country is different, you know, in Singapore, in the United Kingdom, the United States, and also the niche that you've chosen. But in general, I think it's becoming more and more competitive, so even that may not be such a good business model right now. So choosing that is very important, combined with like having the right mindset, being disciplined, having like a strong relationship with God, because ultimately I think that's what fuels you and gives you the faith to continue in a journey, you know. So yeah, I hope you guys got some value out of this video. See you in the next one.